Welcome everyone to our SBDC pivot panels. My name is Leanne Presley and I'm a counselor with the Chaffee County SBDC. And today I'm interviewing Jason Hall. Jason is the owner of Alpine Furniture Company in Leadville, Colorado. Welcome to our pivot panel, Jason.
Hi, thanks for having me today.
So Jason, this series, hopefully some folks have already seen a couple of these, but the series is designed to interview folks like you that went through some sort of a pivot during the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. We want to pull out and extract your ideas, your brainstorms, some of the things that you did in your business that will hopefully help another business. So before we jump into that, let's just get started having you tell us a little bit about your business.
All right, great. Yeah. I started Alpine Furniture Company in 2006, and we started basically online as a company that sold custom furniture. A lot of log furniture at the time was something that we were doing, and then opened up a brick and mortar store in 2008 and was in that location until 2016. And then we moved to a bigger space and stuff like that. And then now I've just moved again. We just opened up this past week in a new location on Main Street in Leadville.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about what happened for you, like describe the experience of, let's say, late March, when you first got the notice that your business would have to close down. Walk us through what happened during that period.
Yeah, sure. So we actually closed, I believe it was March 14th, a few days ahead of the notice. I kind of felt that coming on, and also just the health concerns and stuff. So we were closed for 6 weeks. At the store was closed down for 6 weeks. So at that time, early March, just sort of in anticipation of the downturn in the economy and maybe that people will be shopping more online, I worked on my online store. So we relaunched that, I guess I should say, in early March, trying to get ready for that, thinking that more people would be shopping online. And then during the closure, we were pretty successful with a couple online auctions. I had a lot of extra inventory and things that I could sort of liquidate. And so I did 3 online auctions. One was done by the community here, and that went really well. So that kind of inspired me to go about do my own. So I did 2 more online auctions after that, and was really successful with that during the COVID. We had a little bit of online shopping too, but the auctions actually were where people were really responsive to.
And so when you say you partnered with the community to do the first auction, and then you did the 2 secondary ones on your own, what's the difference there between how you set those up?
We'll use 32auctions.com. The community one was for small businesses, so they allowed, I think, 5 items per local business. Then doing my own, you can pay, it's tiered to pay as much as you want, but I did 100 items. So I was able to get a lot more stuff on there, and then use social media, email blasts and everything to promote that.
So I know one of the things that I've heard frequently is what you just mentioned, where folks were trying to move from just strictly brick and mortar to an online. And I think the auctions are a great idea. I haven't heard that before as far as a creative way to push inventory out. Tell me a little bit about what you had to do to improve your website or get that ready. What were some of the challenges and tasks that you had to do in making sure that you were ready for online?
Yeah, the big challenge was shipping. Amazon and all these big box stores, they can do free shipping. And, I quickly learned I couldn't. I tried to offer it, but also shipping somehow got more expensive during COVID. So quickly just realized like I can't ship stuff. So that was a big challenge, but it was really time consuming. I used Squarespace for my website, and just inputting all the products and getting pictures and descriptions and all that stuff. It was very time consuming. So yeah, I've sort of shifted over to putting that time and energy into the auctions. So it doesn't necessarily work for every business. And for me, with the larger furniture items, it's just almost impossible to sell those things online. So I was focused more on the smaller items and things that maybe could ship. But again, ran into the roadblock of the cost on the shipping for sure.
And so I imagine, what I'm assuming, the online auction was a national auction available to anyone in the United States or North America. And so did you have folks in your warehouse, employees that you needed to have doing the shipping or helping you manage that? Talk to me about what you had going on with the employee side of your business during the shutdown.
Yeah, well, I actually laid off everyone in the beginning of March before the shutdown happened, just in anticipation. And, we had seen a lot of slowing over the first few months of 2020 altogether. And, for help to keep them protected from health as well, I kind of decided I have to take this on, by myself and lay everyone off. So as far as the auction went, all the larger items and the furniture items and things like that were only available for Colorado pickup and delivery. So I just asked people to make arrangements when they felt comfortable coming back out or so on. And then I did have a few things shipped. I think we went to Virginia and a couple of places like that on some of the smaller items. And I just had them pay for the shipping, the customer.
Okay, great. And so did you, with everyone being laid off, did you not apply for any of the SBA assistance like the PPP loans, which for folks that might not know, it's the Paycheck Protection Program where you had to keep your employees on the payroll. Did you take advantage of any of those programs?
Yeah, I did. We did do the PPP, and I was able to bring all three of my employees back, because of that. So yeah, the SBA has been very helpful here for me.
And were you able to work with one of your local counselors? The SBDC offers, free consulting for folks that might not know. Did you find that you had to take advantage of that, or were you able to navigate some of that on your own?
Yes, I mean, in the initial pivot plan that we'll talk about later, I definitely met with Jamie at the SBDC early in the year in January. And after our meeting, definitely felt like it was the right direction. And that's when I really started to work on that. And then I did, I don't remember exactly, I think in March or April, met with Craig and Sean from the SBDC, just to talk further about things that were working and not working for other businesses and just things like that, just sort of a follow-up and to see how the PPP was going, things like that. And then just a few emails and stuff followed up after that. But yeah, I definitely found the counseling to be very helpful, and people should definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah. So I know some business owners I've talked to pivoted during COVID to some new business model. And it sounds like for you, it was mainly the auction. And they've retained some of those techniques or some sales approaches like the auction. Do you think you're going to continue with the auction side, or do you feel like that was just a temporary thing to help you get through the COVID period?
Yeah, I think that was a temporary solution to try to generate a little bit of revenue. There was a time there where there was just absolutely no revenue coming in at all, and people were definitely online on their computers and on their devices and stuff during the lockdown. But yeah, the broader pivot plan was actually part of my move to downtown and shifting from a furniture store to a gift shop. So I have a new trade name now. It's Alpine Gift Shop, and I'm still operating as Alpine Furniture Company too, but I've downsized and shifted my retail model to gift shop and then furniture design center, getting rid of a lot of my inventory, expensive inventory and stuff on the furniture end, and focusing more on the gift and tourist items inventory.
Mm-hmm. And so, Jason, do you feel like you were planning that move to Main Street before March 15th, before mid-March? Had you already had the idea that you were going to shift into gifts, or did the COVID crisis really kind of push you more in that direction?
Yeah, it really kind of blossomed back in January. Decided to really focus on a target audience, which was tourists. People walk up and down Main Street and go into all the businesses, and people from out of town, they want to take a little something home from Colorado, or it says Colorado or was made in Colorado, things like that. So yeah, that started early on in 2020, and just seemed like the right direction to go. Being in retail, you need to be in an area with high traffic, like foot traffic. So.
Right. Okay. Now, earlier you had mentioned your social media, and I think that's another area where business owners really needed to put their foot on the gas with COVID. If they were shifting from the brick and mortar to the online, I feel like social media is a really important piece of that. Tell me a little bit about what you did to sort of step things up on your social media channels.
Yeah, I think at the same time, try not to overload that as much, but I think during the shutdown, it was really important to stay connected and stay communicating with your clients. So I think social media and email blasts both were really important. Just as, maybe not push products as hard, but to really stay in touch with your customer and, let them know you're still there, and, this is what we're doing. And with the auctions, that, like I said before, that really gave me something to push. You could push it at the beginning, you could push it in the middle. Hey, there's only, it sort of gives a lot of people something. A lot of people said it was fun. It was something entertaining and fun to do during the lockdown. And there really wasn't, a whole lot of ways to shop anymore as far as that went.
Right. So I know a newsletter list can be a super powerful tool. And unfortunately, I think a lot of business owners neglect that list. It's sort of an afterthought. And it sounds like you really utilize that as an effective tool to announce the auction and so on. Do you have any techniques or tips on how you manage your list or how you grow your list? Something that maybe another business owner might be motivated to get their list back into action again?
Yeah, I feel like that's an excellent point. I think we got too inundated with social media to where I think we've forgotten our email list and the email blast and how important that is. So yeah, it does take time to build those lists, and sometimes you have to just ask the customer if they'll sign up. But a few things we do, we have sign up sheets on our checkout stand. And I'm always encourage people to put their email on there. And then when we get those, we input them into MailChimp. And then I also have Square for my POS system and our checkout system. And they just do a fantastic job of collecting emails, because a lot of people, instead of a paper receipt, put their email in there, and then they're automatically into my list. So once you get there, those things can go really quickly. You can create a newsletter within a few minutes, and you don't have to get too wordy and stuff like that. So I think we have over 3,000 email contacts.
That's great.
So really important to stay in touch with them.
Right. And it's amazing how fast it will grow if you do, put some effort into it to grow it. Having people come in your shop is a great way to do that, like you said, or online. You had said you were building up your online presence, to have a pop-up or some other mechanism to gather those names. So tell our listeners, where can they find you online and in Leadville?
Yeah, so we're really excited to be on Main Street, Leadville now. I'm really not sure why it took me so long having a brick and mortar location, but yeah, we've moved to 717 Harrison Avenue. We're right across from Melanzana, which is really exciting. We're right down the street from the Visitor Center, so one of the first retail businesses that you come to from the Visitor Center as you walk down. And we're online at alpinefurniturecompany.com. And yeah, we've also do pop-ups. This summer is going to be a little bit more challenging, but I like to put pop-up shops at different places, restaurants, other events. And like we had the Leadville barbecue going here, which won't happen this summer, but things like that. If you can get out there and set up a booth somewhere and do a little pop-up shop, I think that's really appealing too.
Let's talk about that really quickly, because I don't think a lot of business owners know what the pop-up concept is. They may have never seen it before, and I think a lot of them don't really know how to set that up. So let's just unbox that really quickly. So you mentioned a pop-up is like a temporary store. How long are you usually set up with a pop-up, and describe for us what it looks like?
Yeah, and sort of developing that plan, and then COVID, has put a damper on that for 2020, unfortunately. But really pretty simple. Just having a tent, like a 10 by 10 tent, and then I have a banner that says Alpine Furniture Company pop-up shop, and a couple tables. So we would just go somewhere like a restaurant, our friend zone here, Bucci, for example. On Saturdays last summer, if the weather was good, we'd go out there, just set the pop-up up and bring some of our stuff out there. Quickly, it probably took me 30 minutes to load up some stuff, and then take it down there and then blast that on social media, say, hey, we're over here. And then also give them a reason to go to the restaurant too, and tell them a little bit about that. And you can sit out on the patio and have a drink while you shop. But yeah, it's actually a really neat concept. You probably have everything you need, just about. You could spend maybe a few $100s getting a tent and the banner. And people are willing to do it, like parking lots. We did one in Buena Vista at the parking lot of the hardware store there, and things like that. So I think if you ask, people are willing to let you pop it up, and you're kind of advertising for them. It draws more people into their business as well.
Mm-hmm. And so do you have overhead costs with that? Are you paying the restaurant owner for the space, any kind of rental? Or talk to me a little bit about the cooperative nature of that relationship. What do you give them, and what do they give you?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have everyone I've done so far was free. I imagine some people might want a little compensation, but yeah, if you have a relationship with someone, or if there is an opportunity to sort of attract customers into their business too, it benefits them in that way as well. And also, hashtagging them on social media as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's great. So you're promoting them on social. Like you said earlier, you're getting traffic to come out to the restaurant when people might not otherwise know about them or be there. And for you, it's bringing your product right to where the customer is. So I love pop-ups. I think they're a great idea. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely something small business owners can try for sure.
And I think in this post-COVID world, we're going to see a lot of people feeling more comfortable outdoors. And so if you can provide a place for them to, avoid having to touch your door handles or come into your shop or worry about the 6-foot distancing, the pop-up shop might be a really great way for you, other business owners watching this, to get your product out there in a way that works with the way customers want to shop in this post-COVID environment. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience in pivoting your business, Alpine Furniture Company, and now Alpine Gift Shop. And we thank you so much for all of your insights and sharing that with our audience today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.